Hey young lady, what happened to your bravado from earlier? A group of 10 mobsters surrounds us, all grinning maliciously. What's going on? Who are you guys? My boss, Cindy, glares at them desperately. However, the mobsters remain unfazed. In fact, they seem to be enjoying the sight of the beautiful Cindy looking frightened. I had been keeping quiet to avoid making things worse. But I can't just stand by when Cindy is involved. Cindy, leave the rest to me. What? Joe? Confused, Cindy watched as I stepped forward to protect her from the men. What's wrong, bro? Just keep shivering in fear like before. The closest mobster taunts me with a sneer. What's up? However, they seem surprised that I won't move. I got a message for your boss. What? What are you talking about? Tell him that Joe has something to say. Are you okay, Joe? My name is Joe, I'm 34 years old. I work as an SP. Mainly assigned to VIP protection. That day, I was guarding the chairman of a certain company. I had heard that the area's largest mafia, the Anderson Group, was targeting him. We were on high alert, guarding him, but the opposition still made their move. They tried to take out the chairman using sheer numbers, attempting to slip past our guard. We managed to prevent their plans at the last moment. But then one man decided to fulfill his duty without regard for his own safety. I reacted just in time, but things didn't end up well for me. Hey, why did you even save me? The man targeting the chairman looked down at me in disbelief. He hadn't expected to survive himself. But after saving the chairman, I had thrown myself in the way to protect him too. Because of that, here I am. I lay on the ground, unable to move. Hey, why did you save me too? It's natural. Protecting people is my job. Even me? You didn't seem to have any intention of running, did you? No, not anymore. Then there's no problem. But? The man looks towards the chairman. Indeed, he had targeted and tried to execute his plan. It's not for us to decide your guilt. The court will decide that with paper and ink. To me, it's all the same. The chairman and you. Sorry, thank you. Overwhelmed, the man collapsed to his knees and started sobbing. Meanwhile, I'm reaching my limit, struggling to stay conscious. Lying on the asphalt road, the rain that started falling cleansed my face. Soon my eyelids became heavy, and it seemed I had fallen asleep. Good job with the VIP protection. Sometime after the VIP protection ended, I was called in by my boss, Charles. Charles was praising me, but his expression seemed somber. Your left leg, it doesn't look too good. Yes. I can walk slowly, but... Charles's gaze was fixed on my left leg. When I had saved the man, I had injured my left leg. I could drag it along, but it was enough to interfere with daily activities. Of course, running was out of the question. Continuing work as an SP seems difficult for you now. That's true. We could offer you a desk job. Charles had a troubled look on his face. A friend of mine runs a company. Maybe I should introduce you? Would that be okay? They're actually short on sales staff, so they'd welcome as many as possible. I see. But there's a bit of a problem. A problem? The workplace is near the Fuller Union, under the control of the Anderson Group. I see. I had managed to protect the VIP from the Anderson Group's plots. In other words, I was one of the people who had caused their plan to fail. Would it be a bother if I went there? No, the Fuller Union is small, and it's not something to worry about too much. I see. Just, as a precaution, I'd prefer if you didn't mention your former SP role. I understand. That's thoughtful of you. If you're okay with these terms, I'll go ahead and talk to them. What do you think? No problem at all. I'm actually grateful for your help with my career transition. No. We would have liked you to stay, but it can't be helped. That's too generous of you. I'll email you the details later. Yes, thank you very much. I bid farewell and left Charles's office. The heavy door closed with a solid sound. Suddenly, I strongly felt that I was really leaving the SP service. Joe, have you gotten used to the job? As I was preparing for a sales role, my boss Cindy asked me. She is my boss, very beautiful with a dignified face. Interestingly, she's younger than me. In fact, the department I was assigned to was full of younger people. I was the newest and the oldest among them. Yes, thanks to you. That's good to hear. Cindy smiled happily. She was very caring and kept an eye on me. Hey, old man, don't dawdle. It takes you enough time to walk as it is. While talking to Cindy, I heard an annoyed voice from behind. Turning around, I saw my senior, Tyler, standing there. Apparently, he's the president's son. His arrogant attitude is quite noticeable, especially in how he speaks to me. Tyler, be nice to the newbie. Yeah. But is he really a newbie at his age? Even after Cindy's comment, Tyler still had a smirk on his face. Cindy tried to admonish him further. But no matter what she said, it seemed unlikely that Tyler would change his ways. Well, I'm off to sales then. So, I decided to quickly get out of Tyler's sight. After finishing my sales preparations, I left the sales office. Ah, yes. Good luck, Joe. Yes, I'll do my best. With Cindy's encouragement, I headed out to sales. Hello. My name is Joe, and I represent Johnson Systems. I was assigned to develop new clients. Having to visit stores I had never been to before made this sales task quite challenging. It seems Tyler had suggested this task. Cindy and others opposed it, but in the end, we had to comply. Apparently, Tyler gives such sales tasks to every new recruit. Probably, no one expects any contracts to be signed, but I intended to give it my all. What's this? A sales pitch? I entered what seemed to be a privately owned restaurant. An elderly woman came out from the back of the restaurant, looking quite bothered. It was too early for the lunch rush, so there were no customers. I won't buy anything you're selling, whatever it is. What are you trying to sell me? No. I just thought I'd stop by to introduce myself today. The elderly woman was very wary. It seemed she wasn't interested in listening for long, so I shouldn't overstay my welcome. I handed her my business card and was about to leave right away. Oh. Your light seems to be flickering. Just as I was about to leave after greeting her, the light in the restaurant flickered off momentarily. It came back on, but the fluorescent light seemed to be dying. I noticed a new LED light propped up in the corner of the restaurant. It looked like she had planned to replace it but seemed troubled. I bought this LED light, but I don't really understand it. Yeah, it can be confusing. But you just need to fit it in, it's pretty straightforward. Is that so? Yes, I can change it for you. Do you have a ladder? It's around the back of the restaurant. Are you sure? Helping people is my job. What's that now? The elderly woman chuckled amusingly. But, you're nice without being pretentious. Thank you. Seeing her, I could tell her legs weren't in the best shape. Thus, climbing a ladder to change the light would be a difficult task for her. Having bad legs myself, I could understand. Of course, changing a fluorescent light isn't hard, but the anxiety of not being able to do certain things doesn't change. I'm back. After walking around all day for sales, I returned to the office in the evening. Well, looks like you had no success today. Tyler said with a smirk as I put away my sales bag at my desk. No, actually I managed to find about 3 prospective clients. What, really? Tyler was surprised by my response. I had gotten along with the elderly woman, Jessica, and she agreed to sign a contract. She also introduced me to some acquaintances, and I managed to get 2 more interested parties. I had given them the product information and promised to return later to finalize the contracts. That's impressive, Joe. Well done, Cindy complimented sincerely. I think I just got lucky. Even so, that's quite impressive, especially since it's almost your first time going out for sales alone. Cindy praised me earnestly. Having never had such a type of boss in the SP service, I felt slightly awkward yet warmed by her kindness. Don't get cocky just because Cindy is nice to you. Tyler whispered coldly. I'll keep improving. And don't get the wrong idea just because Cindy is beautiful. What do you mean by the wrong idea? Don't start getting any romantic ideas," Tyler said sternly before walking away. Cindy hadn't heard our conversation and looked at us curiously. "Cindy, I'll ask about these prospects." "You must be busy, right? Is that so?" "Okay then, Joe, please report the prospects to Tyler." "Sure. I've been called by Director Paul, so I'll go see what he wants," Cindy said with a smile and waved as she left the sales office. "So, who are these prospects? Or is this just your misunderstanding?" Once Cindy was gone, Tyler's demeanor openly shifted. "No. I'll explain with a map." I spread out a map of the area and explained the prospects to Tyler. He listened with apparent dissatisfaction. I regretted explaining so carefully to such an unappreciative Tyler. "What do you mean?" The next day, while I was at work, Cindy said something unbelievable. "I don't really understand either, but..." Apparently, I had received rejections from all 3 of my prospective clients. I could understand the other 2, but I had never expected Jessica to reject me. "You probably pushed them too hard, didn't you?" Tyler laughed mockingly. "That couldn't be true. Jessica herself had brought up the contract first. I'll go and talk to them." "But Joe, they've already refused." "Hey, don't make it a complaint visit. I really just want to talk to them a little." "Okay. But don't worry too much if it doesn't work out." Cindy's kind words felt empty now. With my sales bag in hand, I rushed to Jessica's place. "Jessica. What happened?" I arrived at Jessica's restaurant. With a sense of foreboding, I opened the door. "Joe? I'm sorry." Inside, Jessica was sitting on a chair, looking drained. My instincts, honed from years in the SP service, whispered that something was amiss. "Please, don't apologize. It seems I have caused you trouble." "Joe?" Jessica looked surprised as I spoke. "If there's something you can't say, that's okay. Please don't worry about it. You really are a good person," Jessica murmured, managing a troubled smile. "I should be going then." After saying goodbye to Jessica, I stepped outside the restaurant. That's when I noticed 3 men waiting for me. "Are you Joe?" One of the men, wearing sunglasses, twisted his mouth as he spoke. "Yes, that's me." These men clearly weren't ordinary civilians. My long-standing instincts were screaming it. "We're from the Anderson Group." "Ever heard of us?" "The Anderson Group? Aren't you with the Fuller Union?" "What's this, guy? You're pretty particular, huh?" The man clearly became annoyed. "Do you guys have business with a simple salesperson like me?" "Hey man, it seems you've been making quite a name for yourself around here, haven't you?" "I didn't intend to." "What you intend doesn't matter to us." The man moved closer, clearly irritated. "If you keep up this weird sales act, can you really expect to stay safe?" "Indeed." It's likely that these guys had done something to Jessica and the others. That's why Jessica and her contacts withdrew their promises to make deals with me. "You guys are really kind, worrying about my safety." "Huh? That you worry about my safety first, when it's you who are going to be in trouble." I spoke calmly, causing the man with sunglasses to step back. "What's with this guy? Is this bad?" I might have spoken too sharply, but I'm no longer in the SP service. Getting involved with the mafia could bring trouble to the company. I apologize for speaking out of turn. I offered my apology. Yeah. You should have been like this from the start." The man in sunglasses seemed relieved. "What should I do then?" "Huh? Oh. Just stop with the cocky sales tactics." "Cocky sales? What does that mean exactly?" "Huh? You think you're the customer or something? Don't ask for explanations for everything." "Understood. Perhaps it would be best to keep a low profile for now. Anyway, we'll be watching you. Keep that in mind." "Yes." The 3 men walked away. To think the Anderson Group would come into play now. I thought it was a good start, but it seems I'm in for quite a struggle. "Come on, Joe. You're not doing well at all." Tyler's disparaging voice echoed in the sales office. "Yes. I'm sorry. Some time had passed since my encounter with the three men from the Anderson group. I continued my sales efforts, but nothing was going well. I was always interfered with by the mafia. I wasn't sure of the exact reasons for the interference, but it's most likely related to my former job. I had thwarted a scheme by the Anderson group. It's natural to think they are retaliating because they're angry about that. Still, it doesn't seem like those guys know I used to be in the SP service. Perhaps they're just following orders from someone higher up. Either way, it was a tough situation. But Joe is still new, right? Cindy tried to soothe Tyler. Cindy is too kind. But when I was new, I had already secured contracts at the same stage. Tyler scoffed. And yet he hasn't secured a single one yet. But Joe is dealing with new clients, that's difficult, right? Even so. Tyler seemed stubbornly unconvinced. I'm sorry. I will try harder. I apologized to stop the two from heating up further. Joe? That's right, keep at it. Yes. Well, I'm going home then. Satisfied with my apology, Tyler left. Everyone else had gone home at the usual time, leaving just Cindy and me. Joe, do you have some time after this? Yes, I'm free. I thought she might want to stay and look for more prospects. But it seemed I was mistaken. Then, how about we go for dinner, just the two of us? Cindy said with a mischievous smile. The place I'm taking you to is one of my favorite places. Cindy led me to a retro and popular local pub. It was busy and loved by the locals. Thank you. It has a great atmosphere. Right? Is there anything specific you'd like to eat? Could we have some fried chicken? And I'd like to try whatever you recommend. Okay. Fried chicken it is. I'll order the rest for us. Thank you very much. Cindy called the waiter over and ordered in a familiar manner, clearly indicating it was indeed her regular place. The atmosphere was casual, confirming that she really was a frequent visitor here. Do you like fried chicken? Embarrassingly enough. There's nothing embarrassing about that. I like it too. Cindy seemed more relaxed than usual. Is sales tough? Well, it's challenging. I see, that makes sense. Cindy sighed heavily. I really want to stop making newbies do new client development. Is that so? Yeah. But Tyler insists it's better that way. It seems so. Tyler established that tradition, and because of it, hardly any newcomers stick around. That made sense. Indeed, developing new clients is among the toughest challenges. Being assigned such a task might be why many newcomers don't last. In that regard, I think you're doing great by identifying prospects and working hard. Thank you. But about closing deals. You're almost there, don't worry about it. You're kind. Am I? Really? Cindy seemed a bit embarrassed. Anyway, don't stress too much about it. If you're stuck, there's always the option to transfer to another department. Thank you for your consideration. Cindy's thoughtfulness warmed my heart. I wanted to live up to her expectations. However, my failure to close deals was mainly due to interference from the Anderson group. Dealing with that would be crucial to continue in sales. Transfer to another department, huh? That might be a viable option. Sorry for talking all about work. Let's eat, come on. As I pondered, the dishes arrived. Cindy cheerfully encouraged me to try the food. It looks delicious. Right. Eat up, it's my treat. Thank you very much. Let's enjoy. Every dish recommended by Cindy was truly delicious. I had been on edge for a while, but I felt like I was finally having a good time after a long time. Cindy, thank you for the meal. Not at all. Want to go to another place? But isn't it quite late? Is it? After finishing our meal at the casual pub, Cindy and I walked through the night city. The night was deepening, and the time for the last train was approaching. While office workers were preparing to go home, some people seemed to be just starting their night. Brother, you seem to be having fun. You are. Just off the busy street, someone suddenly called out to me. Turning around, I saw a group of men wearing sunglasses who claimed to be from the Anderson group. Just ignoring the trouble we cause and continuing to work here, huh? I haven't been interfering with you guys, have I? Huh? We just don't like you, that's all. The men exchanged looks and laughed among themselves. Joe, do you know these people? Cindy asked, sounding alarmed. No, they are people we should avoid. Oh. Harsh, bro. We've been keeping an eye on your sales and all. You're just causing trouble. Oh? Us, trouble? The men feigned innocence, laughing it off. Interfering with sales, you say we're a disturbance? Cindy? I thought it was strange. The way those prospects turned us down. Cindy, perhaps getting heated up, stepped toward the men. You've been interfering with Joe's work? What's the meaning of this? Aren't you a spirited lady? Explain yourselves. Explanation? Don't get cocky just because you're pretty. The men ogled Cindy, smirking obscenely. Looks like all the boys will have a pretty lady to deal with now. One of the men signaled to others. Then, a group of men with a mafia-like demeanor started to gather. Easily numbering around 10. What's going on? Cindy, stay behind me. I shielded a frightened Cindy behind me. Hey young lady, what happened to that boldness from earlier? What do you mean? Who are you guys? There were 10 of them. With my injured leg, there was little I could do. It would be difficult to escape with Cindy. Cindy, leave the rest to me. What? Joe? At this point, there was only one course of action left for me. I got a message for your boss. Huh? What's that? Tell him that Joe has something to say. Huh? What are you talking about? The man with sunglasses was confused. Joe? You mean that Joe? However, some of the men behind him began to tremble upon hearing my name. Hey, this is bad. We need to contact the boss right away. The mafia members started making frantic phone calls. Who are you, exactly? Cindy stared at me, wide-eyed and puzzled. Hey Joe. Are you done with those pointless sales trips? The next morning, Cindy, Tyler, and I were the only ones left in the sales office. Tyler continued to provoke me, but Cindy reprimanded him. Joe is staying behind, and you should stay behind too. Why is that? Tyler asked. Because we're expecting a visitor, Cindy replied. A visitor? Yes, someone you know, apparently. Cindy explained the situation, and Tyler tilted his head, apparently puzzled by the mention of a visitor. It seems he couldn't quite grasp the implication. Truth be told, neither Cindy nor I fully understood either. After I had identified myself, there had been significant turmoil on their side. Eventually, we were informed that they would come today to settle matters. And they specifically requested that Tyler be present too. Cindy might have been scared but maintained a brave front. I knew I would need to protect her if anything happened. They're here. Cindy murmured while looking out the window. Outside, a fleet of luxury cars had pulled up. What is this? Tyler muttered, sounding scared. Many people from the Anderson group entered our office. The person they referred to as Big Brother stood before us. I'm Mike. Nice to meet you, he said, greeting us surprisingly casually. I'm Cindy. Pleased to meet you, she responded. Quite a beauty, aren't you? Mike remarked. No, Cindy struggled, seemingly overwhelmed by the atmosphere. It seems our associates have been causing you some trouble. Mike commented and signaled to his subordinates. Then, 3 men timidly stepped forward. Hey, senior. Tyler blurted out suddenly. He clamped his mouth shut in shock, but it was probably too late. Those 3 were the ones interfering with my sales. These 3 guys were just underlings hanging around the Fuller Union. Weren't they part of the Anderson group? No, it seems they were acting on Tyler's orders, pretending to be from the Anderson group. Well, that's something. They are fearless indeed. Come on, explain this. Prompted by Tyler, the man in sunglasses let out a faint voice. Okay, I understand. The man in sunglasses glanced briefly at Tyler. Actually, Tyler asked us to disrupt the newbies' sales. What? Apparently, he didn't like that the newbie was doing better than him. Tyler, what's this all about? Cindy asked Tyler. That's nonsense. I never said that. Tyler quickly denied it. So, you guys were lying? No, we only speak the truth. However, when confronted by Mike, the men vehemently denied it. Seems so, buddy. Ah. Stared down by Mike, Tyler was at a loss for words. We also have a reputation to uphold. Can't let anyone slander our name. I didn't say anything about using the Anderson name. You're the client, right? Can't play dumb with us? Shall we bring them in? As Mike signaled, several men approached Tyler. Help! Tyler cowered under the men's pressure. Wait a minute. What is it, Joe? Joe? I found myself unexpectedly standing in front of Tyler. Please, no rough stuff. Why not? This guy was messing with you. It's my job to protect people. You're not in the SP service anymore, are you? It's not about the job, it's about what needs to be done. I see. Mike narrowed his eyes. He seemed to be sizing me up. Ha. Just as I heard, you really are that kind of person. After a moment of silence, Mike began to laugh. Indeed, you are the one who saved our young boss. Young boss? He's the one who caused the injury to Joe's left leg. Indeed. It must be about the person I last helped. I didn't know because he was hospitalized, but to think he was the young boss of the Anderson Group. Well, I can't forgive the failed plan. Is that so? Separately, I won't forget the favor you did by saving our young boss. Is he doing well? He's been deeply impressed by you and is working diligently. Mike gave a faint smile. Well, that aside. What is it? Just, we can't let it slide when someone uses our name without permission. Well, I understand that. Should we say it's a matter of trademark? Asking for compensation makes sense, right? That's true. Realizing the fairness of the argument, I stepped away from Tyler. Tyler looked at me with frightened eyes, but I couldn't interfere with something that was logically sound. So Tyler, for using the name, let's say. Mike stood in front of Tyler, looking down on him. We'll knock it down to about $500 million. What? Of course. That's what our name value would cost. That's impossible. I can't. Tyler began to cry and fell to his knees on the floor. Joe. Help me. Listen, buddy. Mike peered into Tyler's eyes. You harass others and then have the gall to say that? That's, well. If you can't pay, maybe we should replace that spine of yours in the Pacific. That's too much. It seemed Tyler realized that anything he said would be futile. He continued to cry like a child. In the end, to pay the demanded amount, Tyler set off for the Pacific. By now, he's probably facing the rough seas, fishing. He seems to be having a tough time, but that's probably for the best. However, Tyler's father is quite angry about the situation. Retirement is inevitable, and he's considering suing for damages. It's understandable, given that Tyler hired the mafia to interfere with business. Even if he returns safely from the sea, it seems Tyler's hardships will continue. As for the men with sunglasses, I don't know much, but they seem not to be safe. That's a matter between mafias, so I couldn't ask too deeply. Meanwhile, my job was going smoothly. I renegotiated contracts with Jessica and even got referred to new clients. The number of new clients has increased significantly, and I even received an award from the company. Wow, Joe, congratulations. Today, I'm out drinking to celebrate the award with Cindy. Thank you. It's all thanks to everyone's cooperation. Oh, come on, it wouldn't have been such a success without you, Joe. No. And I hear you're about to get a big promotion. Yes, thankfully. I might be overtaken by you soon. Not at all. Ahaha. Cindy laughed cheerfully, taking my hand. Come on, let's go to the second bar. Sounds good. Let's go. Living in this town with these people. My second life seems like it's going to be pretty good.